Hello, welcome to Whip and Chat. My name is Sefunmi Dada and I'm your host on this show. I'm super excited to welcome you to the very first episode of Whip and Chat. If you're an entrepreneur or thinking about starting your home business, this is the place for real, honest conversations about what it takes to build something from scratch. You're going to gain genuine experiences, lessons, and stories on this show that we can all learn from. So today I want to share with you a bit of my personal journey into entrepreneurship, the good, the bad, and the unexpected. Okay, so let's just go down the memory lane a bit. My journey into entrepreneurship started back when I was in the university. I have always have a flair for selling, even while juggling my studies. I wasn't the type that seen myself to be a full-time entrepreneur, but I've always had this thing for selling. And I remember when I was in 200 level, I started out by selling underwears, female underwears in school. And the sales were coming very well. I would go to town and get underwear from a wholesaler, then bring them to school, to campus, and sell them to ladies. And people loved what I was selling. After some time, I started selling thrift. I added thrift to the underwear business, female thrift, and the ladies loved what I was selling because I go out of my way to select unique designs, and I've always had a thing for marketing as well. So after some time, I discovered that people were owing me and it just didn't sit well with me. So I told myself that, girl, you know what, let's stop selling this. Let's just face academics, because biochemistry wasn't easy. I was a biochemistry student and an A student for that matter. So I told myself, let's just leave this and face school fully instead of having my money all out. And back then I didn't know how to structure business, so as to be able to mitigate against debt like I do right now. But you know the saying that if something is in you, then it's really in you and there's nothing you can do about it. So when I got to 300 level, yes, I think, was it 300 level, first semester 400 level, I observed a need in my school. I observed that most of the time we go to school as early as 7 a.m. and we don't come back from school till around 6 p.m. And in between these lectures, myself and my mates, we are always looking out for what to eat, something to munch on. So I just thought to myself, you know how to make some pastries and cake. Why not start making donuts to class, sell to your classmates so that everyone can have something to munch on while receiving lectures. And that was how I started making donuts to school and selling them to my classmates. And before you know what's happening, people quickly began placing bulk orders. That was the spark that eventually evolved into what we now call Sky Foodies. So fast forward to my service year, I went to serve, and after serving, I started working. I got a 9-to-5 job. But somehow I couldn't shake off the passion for selling. Even during my regular work hours, I would make cupcakes, foil cakes, and I'll bring them to work to sell to my colleagues and people in nearby offices. And I received quite a number of positive feedback that kept me going. I remember that it was on the sales I was making while I was working. That was where I got the money that I used to register Sky Foodies officially. So in 2021, I said to myself, Raquel, you have something for this entrepreneurship. Why not just resign and face your business fully? So I took the leap and resigned from my 9-to-5 to pursue my passion full time. Then in 2022, Sky Foodies officially launched. We started out initially with general baking, cakes, snacks, small chops, surprises, everything, just to ensure that money comes in. But later that year in 2022, an idea for a snacks mix was born, adding even more flavor to our offerings. And we started making premix snacks, and people loved our snacks mix. So as we grew, we carved out a niche in the chops and grills industry. It wasn't a straight path, trust me, but every twist and turn helped me and the entire team to discover what truly resonated with our customers. So right now, let's talk about the good, the wins that kept me going. I think the greatest win that keeps me going is seeing customers enjoy our products and hearing their positive feedback has really been rewarding. Each compliment, and every repeat customer that come back reminded me that I was on the right track. I mean, I had people that since I started business, I've been the one catering for their events. They've always been using Sky Foodies back to back. We've had people give us their feedback that they love what we are doing. I've seen people referring us. In fact, most of our sales comes from referral, and that shows to me that okay, there is something we are doing right. But of course, the journey hasn't been without its hurdles. There were moments of self-doubt, trust me, there were moments of challenges in balancing the demands of business and personal life. There were lessons learned the hard way about funding. I mean, I've had issues with funding, I've had issues with staffing, ensuring that the values that are important to us in Sky Foodies is passed on to every of our permanent staff and even the contract staff that come to work with us has really been a thing. There are quite a number of unexpected things really that happened in the journey, but those tough days were just as important as the good ones, and it taught me resilience and adaptability, which are virtues that you can't do without as an entrepreneur. You really have to be resilient, and you have to learn how to adapt because customers' demand are always changing, right? So if there's one thing that I didn't expect, it is how much personal growth comes from entrepreneurship. I learned that failure is not the end. It's an opportunity to pivot and innovate. There are times that you might have some ideas might have come to you that okay, let's have this combo sales, or let's do it this way, that way. You'd have projected okay, if you do this, do that, we have this amount of sales. But before you know what's happening, you bring out the combo, you bring out the products, and customers don't want it. And that failure in that particular combo or in that particular product does not mean that you're a failure as an entrepreneur. So I've learned that when the unexpected happen, it's an opportunity for you to pivot and to innovate. And the biggest lessons often come from unexpected twists in my journey, proving that asking for help and collaborating is a strength and not a weakness. Especially as someone who loves to do things myself, I've learned that asking for help, collaborating with other people is actually a strength. So that's my story, from selling donuts in school to launching Sky Foodies and evolving and offering some general baking to a specialized chops and grills niche. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and excited for what the future holds. In future episodes, I will share more insights, challenges, and success stories, and bring on guests who have carved their own path in the world of entrepreneurship. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming next. I would love to hear from you too. When did your entrepreneurial journey begin, and what unexpected twists have you encountered? Please let's connect on social media. On Instagram, you can follow my our official business page, which is Sky Foodies. We usually have a live session, a live open chat session every Wednesday by 12 noon. And also you can follow us on Instagram at Sky Foodies and at Sky Foodies Chops and Grills. On LinkedIn, you can follow my personal page, Sefunmi Dada. I would really love to connect with you. Then you can follow our official LinkedIn page as well, which is Sky Foodies. And on TikTok, we're on TikTok at Sky Foodies, on Facebook at Sky Foodies at all. So thanks for tuning in to Whip and Chat. Until the next time, keep whipping up greatness. Bye.